So yesterday while I was streaming, something very interesting was brought up to me, that there were mentions of raw meat in the Epstein files, and not just eating raw babies, because listen, in the Epstein files, we have found a lot of information that these rich people love to eat children, and listen, this has been known forever, since the dawn of time, since before I even started the diet. When I was like 14 or 15 years old, I knew about these conspiracy theories that rich people eat babies and drink their blood. Well, the Epstein files confirmed it beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt. And listen, you know you're a normie if it took the Epstein files to confirm your suspicion that these rich people like to fucking eat babies and do other horrific shit to them that I don't want to say out loud because YouTube doesn't want to hear that shit, even though I'd love to say it. Now, I did a little digging and I found some very interesting stuff. Let me show you. Also, I just want to mention, I think it's really funny when you try to go through the Epstein files that make you go through this process. You click I'm not a robot, and then you click are you 18 years of older? Yes. Like, that's like this GIF right here. It's like the least fucking secure thing ever. So right here we have this document in the Epstein files. I don't exactly know what the relevance this is to Epstein, but the from is blurred out, which might be that it's Epstein, or I don't know exactly who sent this fucking email, right? But if we look through this email, it's a guide on how to cure a black eye. Right here it says, scientific studies have proven that while the raw meat helps reduce the swelling and aids in the healing process, applying cold meat actually delays the recovery of the broken vessels that cause the bruising around the orbital socket. While frozen meat may cause superficial thermal burns to the skin, this is all accurate. These same studies demonstrated that application of warm and tender meat is much more effective in helping the eyes recover from the damage because the bruising isn't compounded by thermal shock. This is absolutely true, and this is an aajonus recommendation. If you get any kind of bruise, you apply raw meat to your skin, but it has to be room temperature meat. And then right here, therefore, the next time you get a black eye, try this method. Administer treatment until pain and swelling are gone. It says, caution, this method may cause swelling in other areas. I don't know what he means by that because that's not true. Now, I will say something strange is that there's a phenomenon with rich people and getting black eyes. There's something called panda eyes. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm going to get banned if I do. But there's a very strange phenomenon where celebrities get black eyes. If you don't believe me, look into it. Look up panda eyes. Look up celebrities with black eyes. You'll notice that there's a very strange phenomenon with people getting black eyes. And now I also want to mention something else strange. I can't show you this, but there is one more page in this document, and the page after this is a woman applying her breasts onto a man's eyes, and behind them there is a logo that is very similar to that of a secret society. So there's a lot of strange things going on. There's a lot of fucking strange things going on. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is this email right here. The recipient is undisclosed, which likely means it's Jeffrey Epstein. And in this email, they essentially talk about how veganism is fucking stupid and you need animal products to be healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and read this right here. If you are like me, you probably have more and more friends who are vegan, as there is an estimated 6 million Americans are vegan. What? As there is an estimated 6 million Americans are vegan. Sorry, that's just horrible grammar. That threw me off. Which is typically considered to be a healthy choice. Going vegan or cutting out all animal products, including meat, fish, poultry, etc., from the diet has become an increasingly popular choice over the past several decades for both health and ethical reasons. If done right, a vegan diet can be nutritious, delicious, and healthy. It can significantly lower cholesterol, reduce diabetes and obesity risk, and even reduce the risk of death from a heart attack by about 25%. However, there are drawbacks to strict veganism that need careful consideration. This is just like typical white man being weak, trying to sympathize with somebody else, because in this document he talks about how veganism is horrible for you. And then right here, basically, he talks about the fact that he'd never argue with somebody going vegan for spiritual reasons. And then a majority of Americans eat a meat-based diet, including bacon, hamburgers. Interestingly enough, there doesn't appear to be a single cultural group in history of the world who actually survived long-term on exclusively plant-based diets. This is 100% true. There's never been a vegan community. However, in typical, like, weak white man fashion, he starts talking about how vegetarianism is old, but vegetarianism is literally, listen, the reason there has been vegetarianism in history is because people are starving and there's not enough food. When people mean vegetarianism, they mean people who eat a high amount of grains like bread, and then they'll have a little bit of fish and milk and cheese, and it's because they just can't get other meats. Like deep in Rome, it could have been difficult to get your hands on ruminant meat or even chicken or any kind of poultry. The only thing you can get is fish. That's how it is. So this is like a survival food. But anyways, he goes on and he talks about essentially how veganism is unnatural and nobody in history has ever done veganism and it's a brand new thing. And then right here he starts talking about how vegans get vitamin B12 deficiency, which is 100% true. This is why vegans are crazy, because they have no B12 in their body and their brains start decaying. Here he says most nutritionists believe that seafood is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. For the most part, that's true. And then right here, he's being weak again, and he says that he does believe some people should cut back on their meat intake, but he says the body needs animal products for optimal health. Organic pastured eggs are another source of incredibly healthy nutrients. Ditto for raw butter. Raw butter mentioned in the Epstein files. And if you don't know what the word ditto means, it means the same. So he's saying that what he just said about pastured eggs is true for raw butter as well. We have raw butter in the motherfucking Epstein files. So here we have a doctor recommending raw butter. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, in this document, we have another incredible find. This is from the exact same doctor, Gregory Brown. In this paragraph right here, Dr. Brown is talking about how baby formula is garbage. He says, breast milk is ideal, and even if you cannot breastfeed, there are far better alternatives in commercial infant formula. Buying donor milk is one option. You can also make your own infant formula using whole ingredients like grass-fed raw milk or goat's milk. What do you know, bruh? These people know about raw milk. I'm telling you right now. If you go through any normie information, they will tell you that feeding raw milk to a child is dangerous. And here we have a rich person's doctor recommending raw milk. Like, come on, bro. You cannot be serious. Listen, this is why rich people do so much better than normies, because they get the normies to eat all of the slop while they're out here drinking raw milk and benefiting from all these practices that aajonus taught about. Now here we have another document from the same exact doctor where he's talking about how egg yolks should not be overcooked in order to preserve the nutrition. It says, it's important to consume egg yolks that are only lightly cooked, as the heat will damage many of the highly perishable nutrients in the yolk. 2 raw egg yolks have antioxidant properties equivalent to that of a half serving of cranberries and almost twice as many as an apple, but the antioxidant properties are reduced by about 50% when the eggs are fried or boiled, and reduced even more if they're microwaved. Listen, this is all I'm going to say for these files, but there is so many mentions of animal-based foods, or so many mentions of raw milk and other raw foods inside of the Epstein files. These people know. These rich people know what is healthy, and they tell you, the normie, that raw milk is dangerous. Don't drink raw milk. You've all been fooled. This is why poor people stay poor and stay unhealthy. It's extremely obvious, bruv. Like, I can't believe people need the Epstein files to confirm to them that raw foods are healthy, that animal foods are what you're supposed to be eating. But hey, that's just how it is. Listen, the secrets have come out. Now, those were the files that I found the most interesting, but understand that the Epstein files are loaded with information like this, and the Epstein files are only like 10% released. There's way more information out there that we haven't gotten our hands on yet, so if new shit comes out, I'll let you guys know. And hey, listen, my school is now active. I got new information on there. I got new content on there. I recommend joining, and also consultations are now open, but hey, that's all I got for today. Message me on my email, Instagram, or Discord if you want to book a consultation or you want to ask some other kind of important question. And I'll see y'all some other time.